With the Tomb Raider 4 through 6 remasters being released and out there for everyone to enjoy, it's been a really fun time. One just from being able to play these titles, have access to them, enjoy them honestly wherever you play games. If you're more of a console player, there you go. If you own the Switch and you like your Tomb Raider on the go and also at home, well, now you can. Play on PC? Well, you can do that as well. Something else to consider is how the reception is for this collection set. I could care less what media outlets think of this set, or honestly anything related to them, but what I care about are the fans. What do the actual players think as it pertains to these titles? Just going off of what I've seen from some stuff on Twitter, and then Steam reviews, reception seems to be pretty high. Steam has it set at a very positive rating. I find that to be a good place to see how a set of players thinks. They tend to be honest, and in some cases pretty brutal if needed, so not always a 100% thing, nor does it speak for the entire community though. It does give you a sense of how people are receiving the titles. Generally, people are happy, and oddly enough, when I went to look at seeing how fans thought of these games, at the same time I was seeing fans start to ask for, and even shout in some cases, what they wanted Aspyr and Saber to do next. I want to take a step back for a second. When we look at the whole situation as it pertains to Tomb Raider, it's a very telling situation that we're in. When those first remasters were announced, I felt like this created this surge within the fandom at the potential of what the games could be like. Would they even be able to deliver? So that point there, that was just exciting. Wow, look, we have some classic Tomb Raider games coming out. But that's an announcement. Even a good announcement is only just that. It's just news, good news in this case, but nothing really tangible for us to get our hands on. When the first set of remasters were then released, everything was real. How was this team then able to do this? Did it end up delivering on what they both set out to do, and what the fans wanted and maybe expected? And like all of us saw that both Aspyr and Saber were able to make good on their promise, set by that initial announcement trailer. So good we got 3 solid remasters, maybe even setting a new standard that other remasters should then follow too. It was only natural for fans to be like, okay, how about the rest of the core design games? Some fans were even like, how about all of them, like all of the Tomb Raider titles? Then the second set was then announced and released. So now the core design games are complete. We have the full set. And it's very telling that after this point, even on launch day, based on the reviews found on Steam, some fans were instantly happy with the new games, and then quickly pivoting the same day, asking for Aspyr and Saber, to then look to the Legend Trilogy. Fans are asking for it, and I would say that they were doing this even before the launch of the second set too. Now it seems that these fans, including me, are very hungry for it and want it back now. Now with me being a huge fan of the Legend Trilogy, and now becoming a fan of Angel of Darkness, I am firmly in the camp that I want all of these games on every platform that is out there. Gaming preservation is very important, especially when it comes to the access. Sure, you can always say that you can play them through a PC, but an easy and I guess more mainstream option is something that I think Tomb Raider very much deserves, along with honestly any older game. If I had it my way, the entire history of these past titles and consoles would then be somewhere in like a digital library, so that anyone could play them at any time. It's important, even the bad games too, to really preserve that history and not forget about it. Yeah, sure, some have remakes, but you need to especially preserve those initial versions. So since we do not have a library like this that people then can access, getting high quality remasters is the next best thing. So yes, I want these games back. I also want them to live on forever in a way. I do want to clarify as well that if I was in a situation where I did not like an entry within the series, I would still then want it to be remastered and then brought back. It's still part of the history of the franchise, plus it only helps to lift up the property of Tomb Raider and Lara. I know that there are fans that do not like the Legend games, or even the Survivor games too. That's fine. There's a few distinct flavors of Tomb Raider. We like what we like, which is why I'm always trying to take it from a more wider angle too. It benefits the franchise, even with my bias, where I love the Legend games and want them properly remastered as well. So if you do not care for these particular titles, that's fine. You may not even buy them, and that's fine again, but someone else who loves Lara and the Tomb Raider games may want this, or someone new who would like the opportunity to honestly try them. It's about keeping the series series strong and not having a part of it become dormant or then missing. I'm not gonna lie, it's great seeing other Tomb Raider fans then asking Aspyr and Saber to then remaster the Legend titles. It's one thing for me, a big fan, to just keep asking for it, but it's another when you see more and more members of the community start doing the same thing. I think all of this really shows how the fandom wants more Lara Croft and Tomb Raider, and they want more of the older adventures back now today. Sure, we all want a new game as well. There is little to nothing known about that title too, so until something gets revealed, the remasters and her older adventures, that's all we got to play and enjoy right now. All of this was something that caught me a bit by surprise, like on launch day. So when the game finally unlocked for all of us, the remasters, I spent some time playing each of the games, and then I was curious. At the time I was having a great time with this set, but I was wondering what other fans thought of it as well. Like, what did they think of the quality? It had good player reception on launch, and at the same time, many of those early reviews on Steam, you can still find them. They were bringing up the Legend games. Plus the potential of seeing those 3 games back as well would be great. Maybe even with a new coat of paint too. But there are a bunch of stability and graphical options that the first 2 games could benefit from. And then with Underworld being more of an Angel of Darkness-like situation, it's not exactly the same thing, but Underworld was rough in areas, a great game, but I feel like it's a product of a rushed development. So more time to then improve, tweak, and potentially even restore cut content would be great. While I'm not aware of anything cut from the game, there are parts that if you played the game, it felt like there were things cut or plot points being very abrupt. So what a time to be in. It felt like just a week ago we were asking for Aspyr and Saber to then remaster the rest of the core design games. And then even before they listened to the fans in that respect, they were sort of seeing the future with them working on the second set of remasters, even before they even saw the reception to their first set. Having said that, that team could honestly be working on the Legend remasters like right now. That we won't really know until later on in the future when we see announcements or interviews. Until then, I'll continually be here, asking and in some ways demanding for these remasters. We want them. I know they can do a good job with them, and if they can keep up the quality, me and other members of the fandom and community will continue to go to bat for this team. What are your thoughts on all of this? Have you played the Legend games? Would this be your first time? Let me know all of this in the comments down below. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please check out my Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you can help to keep this channel going strong, and this allows me to be able to do more for my awesome audience. Please check out the links in the description and pinned comment for ways to support the channel. And most of all, thank you very much for watching.